Alright, budget magic time, playing some more blue-white spirits in Modern. And so far, I'm loving this deck. We got a lot of tap lands, unfortunately, but this deck is fun. And it's been beating some real good decks. Island for our opponent, and Ether Vial. Interesting. A basic land would be absurd. Any basic land. Or an unsubstantiate. Alright, Port Town, tapped, goo. This, I do not know how this is going to work in all honesty. We have some temple plays, some counters. Our mana leak is not good. At least we're not mana leak flooded, and instead we have unsubstantiates and so forth, which in a pinch can deal with a creature. Temporarily, but still. Vial ticking up. This might be a hard match, though. Silvergill Adept revealing Lord of Atlantis. Opponent passes. Well, let's Maelstrom Wanderer, Glacial Fortress, pass the turn. Yeah, now I'm thinking this hand is going to be a bit too slow. Probably what we're going to have to try to do is like bounce lords and then trade off creatures. But that's going to be tricky thanks to Ether Vial and that our counters are just not very good. Vial ticks up to 2. Mutavault for our opponent. Cursecatcher, a bit annoying. Here comes the Lord of Atlantis. Island Walk, we don't have any islands yet, but we really need to draw land here to have any realistic shot. Really an untapped land. Negate is very far from what we wanted. So I'm thinking we're just dead now. I guess the fact that we didn't draw another land would mean we'd probably be dead anyway, regardless of what our opponent was doing. Opponent's trying to decide if they want to tick up their Ether Vial. They do, to 3. That is sort of good. It means if we bounce the Lord, they can't replay it at instant speed with Vial. Also means if they have a Merrow Regery, that plan doesn't work. So our opponent's going to go attacking. What we got to try to do is bounce the Lord and block Silvergill Adept and hope our opponent does not have a Regery. So let's Vapor Snag Lord of Atlantis. Oh, our opponent dismembers? Oh, God. Alright. Well, that sets us pretty far back. I guess we're drawing live to an untap land again for Spell Queller on the Lord. So that could be good. Oh my goodness. Yeah, this one just wasn't meant to be. Pass the turn. Vial stays at 3. Oh, goes up to 4. They must have Master of Waves in hand. Alright, there's the Lord. So let's Mana Leak Lord of Atlantis. We really needed that to be Spell Queller, though. Oh my God. Well, our opponent just has all the jank. Oh my Lord. Well, now we're very, very done for. There's just not even anything we can draw here. Like, yeah, we can bounce Lord of Atlantis, but that isn't going to get us anywhere. There's our land, but it's just too little too late. I guess we can pass and see what happens. The problem is we're priced into just bouncing Lord of Atlantis. That's our only option. And it's going to cost us 2 mana, so we can't even do anything else. Spell Queller block Lord of Atlantis would be nice if we had more mana, but we don't. So, I mean, that's really the only play in our playbook, but it's not a path to victory, unfortunately. Alright. Creatures bounced. Did our opponent draw another Lord? Alright, Silvergill Adept, good enough. Oh, Merfolk, eh? We don't even have anything that awesome. I mean, bring in a Kami of False Hope to fizzle 1 attack. And maybe go down the negate and try it like that. Alright, we get to play first. Okay, I mean, this hand is got lands. Hopefully we do not draw more of them. Mana Leak is going to really depend on if our opponent has an Ether Vial on turn 1. If they do, Mana Leak is not going to do much, most likely. Island. And there's the Ether Vial. So, Ether Vial for our opponent. Well, let's Port Town, reveal an island, and just Selfless Spirit. Start the beats. So I guess we're just trying to race and tempo, essentially. Vial takes up. Mutavault for our opponent, so they can't play a Lord. Ooh, Spell Queller is interesting. So let's play the island. Do we want to risk getting got by a curse catcher? Probably not. Let's just pass. There's curse catcher. Oh. Oh my goodness. Curse catcher is a bad one. It doesn't even have flying. That was pretty stupid. Opponent gets in for 1. Well, let's just Spell Queller. Opponent puts a Lord into play. Well, this looks like it's developing into a race situation. We take 2. Island Walk, let our opponent get in there. See if we get punished for missing that Selfless Spirit attack. Seems possible. I don't know about... I don't know if it's going to be that likely, but it's possible. So our opponent just have more Lords. Oh, this looks like Silverglail reveals Harbinger of Tides. Okay. Well, I guess we just drog Skull Captain. Opponent spends 4 life to dismember. Port Town. Get in for 3. Put our opponent down to 13. Still don't think we can win this race, even with our opponent dismembering themselves. Vial. Stays on 2, so our opponent likely has more 2-mana Lords. This seems like a tough matchup regardless. We have islands, they have island walkers. Our creatures are evasive, which makes them better in a lot of matchups, but their creatures, they just have more Lords, so their creatures are bigger. Maybe they don't have another 2-mana Lord because they didn't attack with Lord of Atlantis. But we take a million down to 10. I guess we can see what we draw. Glacial Fortress, not super helpful. Well, I guess we attack with both. Is there any way of winning here? I don't think there really is. We put our opponent to 8. If we bounce the Lord, they can just vial it back in. So we're taking 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Possibly more from Vial. If we play defense, they can just vial back in the Lord. Yeah, I think we're just dead. Opponent vials in. Harbinger of Tides. Alright. Well, seems like a rough matchup with Merfolk. Just doesn't line up well with what we're doing.